Next topic, Ben Shapiro.
Okay.
So I saw this, and I saw this on the Majority Report with Sam Cedar, because I try to, like, if I watch something from Ben Shapiro, I then will, like, type in Majority Report and watch something on the other side just to go, oh, wow, both sides are convinced that the other one is completely insane, crazy, and unfair. But there's these common questions that come up in each of their Q&As, and it's, how do I convince my Democrat/Republican friend that this thing that my side believes? And then Ben Shapiro or Sam Cedar or somebody answers that question. And it strikes me as such a weird question to ask, which is like, if you don't know how to convince someone to believe this thing, why do you believe it?
Yeah.
like why would you be asking for tools to build a building that you don't even know ought to exist?
Yeah.
It's so strange. And I saw it on both sides. It was crazy.
No, I have nothing to say. I mean, that is the tragedy of our time, is the fact that people hold beliefs and they are not sure how to persuade other people because those beliefs were not built on solid logic.
Yeah. And it's, if you can't do this yourself with the most minimal of pushback from someone, maybe in that moment, the question is, do they have a great point here? You know, and to switch sides. It's cool to switch sides, to hop back and forth, to go, oh, wow, I thought this thing. And then in my conversation with you, I flip back, but then I talk to someone slightly. And that way you go ping-ponging your way up to the actual answer, as opposed to trying to get Ben Shapiro to explain it for you.
No, it's the tragedy of our time is that people hold these beliefs so strongly without being able to tell you why they're correct.
Yeah. So I saw it on both sides. It was funny. There's very common things. The other thing that I saw is they often react and respond to one another. And you really do see the ecosystem. And I don't know that they're consciously aware of this. Maybe they might recognize it, that they live off of one another. They make clips about one another. And so Ben Shapiro says a tweet to this guy, and then he shuts him down, and then, you know, the day that Ben Shapiro gets his comeuppance, he takes it. But they so often accuse the other side of doing exactly what they do, which is ignore the larger part of the argument and split hairs over semantics.
Yeah.
So there was one section where Ben Shapiro says, Bernie Sanders tweets something, and he goes, greed is literally your religion. And they spent 2 minutes, I don't know, on the word literally, and how literally doesn't mean that. And it's like, okay, try to be charitable here.
Sure,
You know what I mean? What do you think he's saying? But it's crazy how, and it goes the other way as well, where they make these gotcha points on semantics that they hold the other side to such a high bar of precision in speech that they then completely let fall apart themselves, like every normal human does. So it was just interesting, and it calmed me down to go, oh wow, everybody is terrified of their neighbor. Everybody is terrified that there's these secret pack of vicious, angry people out there just trying to ruin their life.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not what's happening.
No, I mean, I talked about this last week, so I'll just make it very brief. But I think to the extent that everyone who's listening could stop thinking of themselves as a Democrat or a Republican, it would be to their benefit and society's benefit. To no longer think that you're a conservative, but that you're a person with your name who has a set of beliefs based on your values. And what that will allow you to do is actually think about each issue and be open-minded in a way that you absolutely cannot if you're positive you're a Democrat. Because then your identity is tied to agreeing with everything that Joe Biden says or everything that CNN says. And it's simultaneously, I think, incorrect, because I don't think either ideology has gotten it right. It's also to your detriment just in terms of your own happiness and your own ability to be a thoughtful person.
Yeah.
So,
well, we've talked about the mainstreams, you know, Fox goes Republican, CNN or MSNBC goes Democrat, but I've recently, and I think it's totally true, everybody has a perspective. I think that goes without saying. But because everyone behind every website is a human being, we are all subject to confirmation bias, to having pet problems that we think are the most important in the world, and this includes me. And so I realize, even when watching smaller things, and I mentioned the Dark Horse podcast, I often go to 538, it is impossible, because it's humans that are creating this stuff, for a particular perspective not to make its way through in just about everything. And I sent you a thing that was, I forget what the title was, but it made me go, oh, wow, 538, which it's a website that talks about the statistics of sports and particularly elections and election season. This was what was on their homepage. Why Trump's racist appeals might be less effective in 2020 than they were in 2016. Now, I'm not saying that's true or false, but certainly there is a premise in there that Trump had racist appeal in 2016 in a way that is significant enough to write an article on it. Now, that would be a highly contentious claim for many Americans.
I think the thing is, some Trump voters are racist.
Mm-hmm.
To the extent that you think all Trump voters are racist, you're doing a disservice to them, and you've made it impossible for yourself to actually understand why he won. So if your goal is to get Trump out of office, if you say that the reason that everyone voted for him is because they're racist, there's no solution for that. Whereas if you say that 10% of them are racist, some of them they're feeling left out of the political commentary. They think the system is rigged to rich people, and they feel like they're rural, middle-class people. Well, now you can go get them. You can go persuade them that Trump isn't the answer to their problems. Mm-hmm. But when you write them all off as idiots or as racist, you can't get them. So now the only way you can win is by trying to get your own people to show up more on voting day.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a winning strategy.
Not what this, I just want to make clear, that's not what this particular.
No, I know, but I'm saying I hear it in people all the time. Mm-hmm. I hear it in people all the time. Oh my God, can't believe Trump won. There's so many racists. It's like, well, maybe imagine that for a second. They voted for him not because they hate minorities, but because they think Hillary is the greater evil of the two, or they think that her policies will make their lives and the lives of everyone they know worse. Like, if you can hold that as a potential option in your mind, it allows you to win the next election, empathize with someone that voted a different way than you. Like, it gives you so much power to change the future and your community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the same thing goes, and after, perhaps Trump equals racist is the thing that gets in the way of understanding from one angle, but Antifa equals bad, or protest equals riots, or these are the mirror reflection of that coming from the other side. But with regards to this particular thing, it highlighted in the first paragraph how he talked about the caravan coming and how that was racist, and it's like, I don't mean to split hairs here. I suppose I am, but the caravan, like, they were also all not legal immigrants, in addition to being of different ethnicities and races. So the perspective that it's a racist thing to not want this caravan to come into America or to speak about it in a way that is negative is a premise that is snuck and baked into the coverage, the entire coverage of it. So I go, oh my goodness, and I think this is true. We mentioned, Brett said there used to be good news. I don't know that there's ever been good, unbiased, high quality news. And I don't mean that. I actually mean that there's a fundamental structure, which is you cannot remove someone's perspective from what they write. Mm-hmm. And so that just can't be done. And so perhaps the only thing that you can do is say, this is my perspective. These are my confirmation bias tendencies. This is where I tend to fall short. And the degree to which something says that it is fair and balanced, like Fox News. Even this idea of balance presumes a particular point, which is the center. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Or that it's primarily about statistical analysis, like 538. I actually think that's almost worse than flagrantly obvious opinion pieces.
Sure.
That just go, this is who I am. These are the things that I think. And so I come to the same conclusion as always, which is I need to read less news and and step away. I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that.
On that? No, not really.
So, hard left turn. I'm doing a video. Ben is taking some time off. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.